Good morning and happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to Business Mastery Live Webinar Wednesdays. I'm Preston Bolgen, coming at you live every single Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Good to have you. It is January 10th, man. We're already week number 2 into 2024. Hope your year is going well so far. Excited to be with you today. We're going to go ahead and get this started, guys. Quick disclaimer before we do. Boom. All right, so the following is for educational purposes only. It is not to be considered financial, accounting, or legal advice. Please consult your tax, accounting, and/or legal professional for specific advice. All right, so I want to go over the pillars that we have here. And just every once in a while, we want to do that to make sure we understand and are on the same page and what we're creating here inside of our conversations together, okay? So in case you didn't know, the 4 pillars we stand on. Number 1 is intentionality, which we call mindset mastery. Number 2 is financial literacy, also known as financial mastery. 3 is structures, which is also known as system mastery. And then last is actions, also known as execution mastery. All 4 of these together, we have a successful humming business, and you can take it to whatever level you want to take it to, whether that's maintaining the status quo. Some of us want to do that. Some of us want to maintain the status quo, but maybe we want to create more time so that we can do other things outside of the business that we love. And some of us wanted to go to the next levels in business, whatever that may be. Take it to, if you're at a 6-figure company, you want to take it to a 7-figure company. If you're at a 7-figure company, you want to take it to an 8-figure company, and so on, right? So if we have these all put together, then there is no limit, no boundary into how far you can take what you're up to in business, the levels that you can take that to and beyond. Okay. All right, guys. So more about that. If you really are curious about these principles that we stand on, you want more about them, you can check the earlier videos that we put together here on our YouTube channel. All right. So they're there if you want to understand exactly what these principles are and get some depth and understanding behind them. So I invite you to do that. Okay. But today, I really want to be with you inside of the conversation we started last week, which is tax season, man. We're getting ready for tax season. All right, it's January, so hopefully you are in the process of making sure that you're good to go as a business owner. This can be a stressful time of year for a lot of business owners, and some of us, like we already been doing this process so long, we have the systems in place where it's just business as usual, right? And that's also a place that we want to look. If it's business as usual, we want to discover where it is that we can actually create something new, something that's going to get us an improved result, right? And not just be business as usual, okay? So what are some things that we're doing here to get ready for tax season? Last week, we talked about getting the financials in order, and I want to continue that conversation today. This is a brief overview of what we talked about last week. We talked about the financials and closing those out in 2023, the things that we need to get together in terms of, before the January 31st deadline, the W-2s, the payroll tax information, all those documents that we need to send out to the employees and contractors that work with us, all right, and make sure that that's compliant. And, whatever tax saving strategies you may have, at this point in time, okay? And then now we have this new law coming into effect with the Corporate Transparency Act, right? This is actually active as of now, right? It was signed a few years ago to go into effect now. So now is when it is in effect. So you want to make sure you're compliant with this as well. And I want to elaborate more so on this whole end of year process to make sure you're good to go financially. All right, because I've had conversations with people over the last week, and there is some stress, some concern, some anxiety about, okay, how much am I going to owe now? Right, I'm showing this much profit in my business, and I don't even know where this money went to. Like, how am I actually going to pay this tax bill based on the amount of money that I'm showing here today? I don't know what I'm going to do. Okay, so sometimes you may not have all of the systems in place to track your financials to the degree that they need to be tracked in order to deliver you peace of mind. this time of year, right? So if you're somebody who has just been going about doing the business as you know how to do the business, which is fantastic. This is what we do, right? We know how to do what we do inside of business, right? And if you've been neglecting this portion of your business up until now, like if you haven't been taking care of this throughout the year, well, what are some things that you can do now to get yourself squared away, to know where you stand for when it comes to like how much you owe in taxes this year, or make sure you're not overspending, or just be prepared all the way around, just so you know where you are, you know? So let's talk about this. Some pitfalls, okay, that we're dealing with inside of, getting your financials in order. One of the main things that we come across, that we see, is improper accounting. This is something that a lot of business owners I've seen, they neglect to put the attention in this area, which is one of the main areas that you want to put your attention into. Number one, at the end of the day, you're doing this business in order to achieve a certain outcome, a certain result. And if you're not tracking that result, it's like a slap in the face to the universe, right? If you're saying, I want to actually create something here. I want to go out here and achieve like a high level of profitability in my business, but then the energy and attention is not going to the things that will honor that intention that you have for your business. What do I mean? Well, you're not tracking it. You're not taking the time to understand like where you are throughout the year, like down to the penny. You're not looking at those systems. Am I, performing well, for one, in what I do? Like, what services are my star services that I'm providing? Which ones stand out versus others? Which ones am I wasting time doing? Like, these are laggard type products or services that you're offering inside of your business that aren't really doing as well, but you don't have the systems in place to actually know, right? And then when it comes to just the day-to-day activity, like you're going about handling your business and you're using funds how you see fit. For example, you're going out and you're buying supplies, you're expensing things for your business, but you're not really using the business accounts. You're using things that are coming out of your personal pocket. That's where your funds are coming from, like your personal pocket. Maybe you're just using your personal cash and there's no accounting for that. Well, now this time of year is where that's going to impact you, because you really don't know. You don't know, how much you're leaving on the table in terms of, tax money, because you're not taking all of the deductions that you possibly can, right? And then you don't know how well your business is actually performing. So then you don't have the decisions that you don't have the data-driven decisions that are a prerequisite for you getting to the levels that you say. That makes sense, all right? So improper accounting is one of those pitfalls that we see inside of business owners. We don't take it seriously enough, right? I remember the moment that I got this inside of like my life as an entrepreneur, because I was an entrepreneur before I was in this area of accounting and financial consulting inside of businesses, right? And this was one of the areas that I realized when I got it together, it gave me so much in terms of clarity, in terms of decisions, in terms of expectations. Like, I could plan some things out and it's like, okay, well, that actually went the way I wanted it to go because I could see the numbers, they made sense. And I could push a button or take an action based on the data that was before me and cause something to happen out here, like consistently and reliably. It was all predictable, right? But what would it look like if you could have the predictability inside of your decisions based on the data, the information that's reliable, right? The truth. Well, inside of improper accounting, we like classification, right? So classification is one. We don't know how to classify things. Number two, we are not really, the systems are not in place to, like, no control processes is really what I want to say here. Control processes, which means that it's the wild, wild west where you are. You just kind of spend money, receive money however you can get it in. And it's not a systematic approach to it. It's not like a process that has integrity behind it, which means that I receive money this way and only this way. When I spend money, it goes out of the company this way and only this way. So that's process. There isn't really much of a control process in a lot of the cases that we see when improper accounting shows up. Then inside the control processes, I want to go here with this. Like, too many people spend without monitoring. Approval. No approval process on expenses. Really is no approval process on spending. Receive money in various ways. Right now, when I say receive like money in various ways, it's not wrong to receive it in multiple different ways. Like, you could take credit cards, you could take cash, you can take checks. You can do ACH, direct drafts. You can do it in multiple ways. The thing is, like, when those ways are not determined, like in terms of the process that is established in your business, then it becomes an issue. Like, if I go out there and take money, like Cash App, oh, just pay me Cash App, I'll take it that way. Well, if you don't have a process that's already established, say, okay, I'm just going to take money these ways, and the Cash App is a part of those ways, and you don't have a systematic way to track that receipt of money inside of your accounting processes, then that's where it's going to be the root of your error. Or if you pay people that way as well. But conversely, when you pay people Cash App or Venmo or these other ways, well, there's the integrity that's not there. It's going to hurt you, because am I going to be able to take that deduction or not? Am I going to be able to report the earnings to this person at the end of the year via 1099 or not? If I'm not going to be able to do that, then I got to eat that in terms of tax liability, because I can't write that off. In case in point, I was somebody that I came across a few weeks ago, and they hadn't been doing this, man. They just been paying their people all kinds of ways without really tracking. Like, for the end of the year, 1099, they don't have like a process where they know how much these guys have been paid, and they're not sending them accurate 1099s. Because of that, they pay them like Cash App, Venmo, and then there's no real understanding or knowing, well, how much has been paid to each one of these contractors. And this time of year, there's going to be an impact. It's going to be like, okay, these contractors have been working with me all year long, and they're going to ask for 1099s to say, okay, well, how much did I actually make? And you're not going to be able to provide those to them if you don't have these processes clarified inside of your business structure. Right? It's not going to be an accurate number. You're going to have issues, compliance-wise, right? The authorities will come after you, is what I want to say. Okay, so you want to have that process clear and honored inside of the business, always. Okay, so a lot of the times when inside of improper accounting, we're not taking business as serious as what it wants to be taken in these areas. All right. So you don't want to receive money or pay money in various ways. Right? You pay money, but on the other side, paying money. All right, so that's another thing that shows up. And then there's the process of like handling things throughout the year in a period in which all the activity was incurred. So what does that mean? It's January of 2024. So everything in January, we want to actually record this in real time so that at the end of the month, we know everything that we spent in January, everything that we made in January, and the profitability of January, and the performance of every aspect of my business in January. I want to know that in February, without a shadow of a doubt. I want to know what we did. So now I have that information. It's already recorded, and it's already processed and accounted for down to the penny, so that I just know what's going on in my business for January in February. Okay. So a lot of times we're not doing that. We just get caught up in the day-to-day processes of business, and it doesn't give us the opportunity. You and I, it does not give us the opportunity to make pivots, and it causes this thing where, well, now it's January this year, but if I was not doing that process all year last year, it's a scramble. And then I just don't know. I don't know where I stand when it comes to taxes. I don't know where I stand when it comes to being able to shift my business. Guys, like in the beginning of the year, a lot of us do New Year's resolutions. We say, okay, this year I'm going to do great in my business. I'm going to take it on this year. This is the year. I'm going to take my business to 7 figures. I'm going to take it to 8 figures. I'm going to take it to 10 figures. This year, this is how we're going to do it. Now, if you have not established the processes that would allow you to monitor your performance in every aspect of your business, monthly, even weekly, or even daily, or you're kidding yourself with a resolution. It's nothing. It's just a wish without any legs to it. But the moment that you and I can really get the intentionality of creating the structures in our business processes that will allow us to see moment by moment what is it we're doing, well, then it has legs. Now I can make my decisions based in reality. I'm not just wishing for this to come through in 2024. There is a reality that I'm basing everything in. I can see when I'm moving toward this intention and if I'm moving away from this intention right now, right? So these are the things that I'm actually spending time on right now so that we can get the importance of having the proper processes in your business in effect. Even if you're not good at it, you want to have these processes in your business so that you can at least see what's going on any given moment so you can make pivots and say, I'm not going to waste my time anymore. I'm actually going to take my business to where I said I want to take it to in 2024. I'm done wasting that time. I'm done not getting the result. And now is the time for me to make good on my promise to myself. And it's going to take this, guys. It's going to take being able to have a way to see and track what it is that you're doing so that you can make pivots along the way. You can change the course. You can evolve based on what we're seeing. Okay. So that's important. All right. So lack of technology is one of those things, lack of technology, staffing, and expertise to deliver compliant, reliable, pristine. Let me put that comment there, guys. Pristine. Financial. For my business. So that's a pitfall, right? We don't have the technology, we don't have the staffing or the expertise to deliver this in a way where it's going to serve inside of your business. Okay. So these are some of the common pitfalls. All right. Now, the other thing is, like, I want to actually bring out here is just waiting too long, like waiting. To have this put together. I'm just kind of putting things out here right now, but these are important things that make the difference, right? In terms of, why it is that your business is not prepared right now. Waiting too long, like December 31st, there's not much we can do after that date when it comes to taxes. Everything up from January 1st to December 31st of that year, everything that we're going to do needs to be done in that period of time to have that impact for taxes. For the most part, there are a few things that we could do afterward, but everything in terms of, like, if I'm going to have deductions, if I'm going to have income, and I'm going to make choices on whether or not to defer income or, purchase assets, whatever I'm going to do in that year to leverage my tax situation to the way that I want. I want to have that result in terms of taxes. Then, you waited too long if it's after December 31st. I had somebody send me an email about tax savings. Like, man, it seems like when I file taxes, I end up owing more, and I don't know why I'm owing money. I want to be like balanced. I don't want to have to owe anything at all. And I totally get that, man. So if you are somebody who wants that result in life, where you're a business owner, and this particular person is a business owner, and they receive other income outside of business income, but they want to know where they stand, and really what they really want inside of this is to just not owe anything, right, to the IRS at the end of the year. They want like a net zero, right? For number one, it's going to take conscientious planning throughout the year to achieve that result. Like there are actions that we want to execute on. There's a strategy that we want to have in order to have those actions to execute on. Now, if you're doing this on your own, fantastic. You want to actually do the groundwork, the background work, the studying to understand how to deliver that for yourself as a business owner. Now, if you don't feel as though you're confident in understanding all the ways that you can do that, and you want to lean on a professional, well, do that. Lean on a professional who actually specializes in helping other individuals and businesses minimize their tax exposure throughout the year. Work with them to get a game plan so that you can go out here and take those actions that will deliver that result. All right. And I want to also bring out to the surface of this conversation that it's near impossible, right, to have just zero. Like your net zero with the IRS or any or even your state revenue department, it's nearly impossible to have a net zero. When I say a net zero, it means that, okay, I paid the exact amount of taxes I was supposed to pay throughout the year, so I don't owe you anything, and you don't owe me anything, right? There's no refund. There's no taxes owed. Doesn't work like that for the most part. I mean, at the best, you're going to owe like a little amount, or you're going to get a small refund, right? But it's going to be very close, but never right on zero. So that was one of those things that we want to bring out here to manage the expectation for that. Okay, but even though that thing there is near impossible to achieve, we do want to actually aim for this. We want to aim for ourselves to go throughout the year and keep our hard-earned money, pay just about what we owe, so that when it comes time to file, there's very little that's either owed to you or owed to the revenue departments. Okay. So if you were going about our day to day throughout the year as a business owner, it is your responsibility and the honor that you get to have inside of this to be able to deliver a zero tax scenario for yourself. As close to that as possible is what I want to say. Okay. Now, what that will give is, you can use your own money throughout the year, money that you would have already loaned to the IRS in terms of payments. If you were paying your, payroll taxes, right? If you paid taxes through your paycheck, or if you're paying quarterly estimates, it's money that you get to keep throughout the year. You're not paying any more than what you need to pay. So you get to keep your money that you could invest in something else rather than giving the IRS an interest-free loan. Okay. So these are important things to consider, right, when we're avoiding these pitfalls of improper accounting. Like, how can I actually understand where I am throughout the year so that I can deliver the exact outcomes that I want, right? So, guys, I want to bring this conversation in, and this is what I really want to leave you with inside of this communication today. Get your house in order when it comes to accounting. Okay, get your house in order when it comes to accounting. Take this seriously. All right, there's not much you can do for last year, 2023, in terms of all the accounting processes. If you missed it, if you dropped the ball last year, now is the time to make sure that those systems moving forward are the way that you want them to go. Now, if you had not done anything last year, and in terms of tracking your financials, well, now's the time to go back into history, work with somebody if you need to go through all the financial detail, all the receipts, all the bank statements, all the activity that you had financially, to make sure you're pulling together the accurate profit and loss statement, the balance sheet, like whatever assets you purchased for the year. Get those in order sooner than later. right? You don't want to wait on this. You want to make sure that that's done at least by this month so that you can have that time window to pay what you owe if there's anything there, or at least to come up with a game plan to manage your tax exposure, right? To manage that come time to file. Okay. So, guys, now, this is a great conversation to be inside of. I really want you to get the mastery that's wanted here in this area of business, so that you can scale up to whatever levels that you want to scale up to, and so that you don't have to have like the worry, the concern, the stress around tax time. You can have peace of mind. You can have confidence knowing that, okay, I have my stuff together. I just walk around as a business owner and I mind my own business always. Everything is just taken care of. I already have the systems in place. I can go at any moment. I can just go in and see where I stand when it comes to my profitability, performance inside of my business, and I can make snap decisions that will deliver me the exact results that I intend. This is where you want to be as a business owner. That's going to enable you to, one, level up in 2024. Number two, be ready come tax time. Okay. All right. Don't allow the mistakes of the past to rule over your future. Choose now how you're going to move forward in life. Choose wisely. Have this taken care of for your business, for yourself, for your life, so you can go out here and crush it. All right, guys. Great being with you this morning. Just a real short message to you today. Happy to be with you on a Business Mastery Live Wednesday webinar session. I'll talk to you next week. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.